Hey everybody, hope that you're doing well. It's been a while, I know, and I just haven't been making videos lately. I've been working on other projects, just stuff that for other people and just life in general. I recently had my appendix removed. That was not fun. I still have staples in me right now, and I'm getting those removed tomorrow. Also, I'm working on a couple projects here coming up. I'm actually leaving for Portland tomorrow after I get the staples taken out. I'm going to go film my friend's band up in Portland, so that should be pretty fun. I'm going to fly up there and probably leave the next day because after that I have work again. And then in a couple weeks, I'm also going to be shooting a short film for a friend. And I'm not going to say what it is because we're still working on it, but there is a certain effect that we want to pull off in this. And instead of renting a super expensive camera to do it, we're going to try to cheat the effect. And so I shot a couple test shots, and we're going to go over how to create this effect if I can pull it off. And I think it shouldn't be too hard, just a little bit of After Effects work. So you guys are going to get a video like that. It's basically a thermal heat effect. So let's go ahead and take a look into that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look into After Effects here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just drag in some clips here that I shot earlier. And basically what we're going to be creating is a thermal image. I'm going to be using this in a short film coming up here pretty soon. So let's take a look at the clips here. First shot I have is just a plate. It's just basically my background. I'm going to need that for later. Next shot is basically the same shot, but I'm going to be standing in, and I'm going to show you two different ways of doing this effect. And the third shot, I just shot myself in front of a green screen. So there's the green screen method, and then there's just another method of just rotoscoping. So let's go ahead and place an in and out point here on the green screen that I'm going to use, and let's go ahead and drag it down into the timeline. And as you can see, it's just this short clip here. So what we're going to do is just to cut me out. We don't need all this other stuff here, so we're going to create a mask around me just so it's easier to key and we don't have to worry about everything else. So go ahead and select your layer there, and let's go ahead and draw a mask of that. And it doesn't have to be like a super fancy mask or anything. We're just trying to cut me out, and it just depends on what you do in the shot. I just have me waving. But let's go ahead and go to effects and look for key. And so there's going to be two different key options for me. I have Primac here from Red Giant, and then there's also Key Light that comes with After Effects. But let's go ahead and take a look at Primac here. Basically you just draw what the green screen is, and then you go in and you refine it, and it works really well. It does cost quite a bit of money to use, it does cost quite a bit of money to purchase, but it's definitely worth it if you do a lot of green screen work. So basically I'm just going to go around and select all the green and just try to get the best key that I can. And there's a little bit down here that we're going to go ahead and fix. And so there's a little bit of spill in my hair, or a little bit of glowing going on. So we're going to adjust some settings here. You have your spill here, your threshold, and then some detail as well. And it doesn't look like those are doing much for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go into some other options here as well. Basically what we're going to do is try to choke down this matte a little to get rid of some of this spill going on. But you don't want to go too far, otherwise you start losing a little bit of the image. But for this particular project, it doesn't matter so much, because once we get to the final effect, it just depends on what you really want it to look like. This key doesn't really matter too much. So let's go ahead and just finish up here. So now that we have this keyed out image, let's go ahead and just pre-compose it. We're going to go ahead and just name it key, and then I'm going to move all attributes into there as well. And I'm going to go back into that later and show you another way of keying it out. Let's go ahead and bring our plate into the timeline, and we want to place it under the key. And as you can see, everything is pretty solid. It's almost like I was standing there in the first place. Next, what we need to do is search for the effect Colorama. And what that's going to do is it's going to stylize our image and make it all different colors. Basically what we want, since a thermal image, there's blues, there's reds, and the blues are more like if it's cold, you know. So there's a lot of different presets here that you can choose, but we're going to go with solarized blue. And that's going to give us our like cool temperatures there. And we're going to use that for the background. You can adjust these options here if you need to get a better idea of how it works. Let's go ahead and turn our key back on, and we're going to go ahead and put Colorama on that as well. Now we're going to create kind of the warmness. And so I'm going to go ahead and choose RGB, and it gives us 3 options here. Let's go ahead and change this green into like an orange. And then we're going to take the blue, and let's go ahead and turn that into like maybe a red, like a darker red, and see how that looks. And you can go ahead and add another one in here if you need to. You just double click anywhere on there, and let's go ahead and create maybe a brighter red and maybe another one here, and let's go ahead and create like maybe an orange or something. Okay, well, we got something going on here, and I can move these around, and it looks like it's going all right, but it's just so red. So let's go ahead and try a different color. Let's try like maybe like a magenta or something, and that's maybe a little much. So we're gonna just go ahead and move things around here and see if we can get a better looking image. I think that's looking a little bit better there. And let's go ahead and make it maybe a little bit darker as well. There we go. That looks much better. And so as you can see, this is what a thermal image, I guess, would kind of look like. Or it's what I've been seeing in references, like in some other shows that use thermal stuff. So let's go ahead here, and we're gonna add in another effect here to make it look, because this looks too sharp to me, so we're gonna add a blur to it. So we're gonna look for a fast box blur, and we're gonna go ahead and apply that to the key. And let's go ahead and do the radius of like 6 or something. That looks good to me. We're gonna go ahead and turn on repeat edge pixels, and let's go ahead and copy this effect. And we're going to put that on the background layer as well. So let's just go ahead and paste that in there. And right away it starts looking more like what I've seen as people use for thermal cameras. And that actually looks pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and stylize it a little bit more. How about, let's go ahead and add a adjustment layer here. And what we're going to add in is like a Mosaic Effect. And what that's going to do is make it look like it was shot on like a crappier camera. Because what we're going for in the short film, these people who are using this camera aren't very good. So let's go ahead and bump up these settings here for the vertical and the horizontal. And we're going to try like 100 here and maybe 75. Give it a little bit longer in the vertical there, or give it a little bit longer in the horizontal there. Let's just go ahead and mess with the settings, see what looks best to you. Maybe this looks better, and you know, I think I'm happy with this, so let's go ahead and keep that as our setting there. Now let's go ahead and take a look into how we can key this a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and select our layer. We're going to go ahead and delete Primac here, and let's go ahead and add in Key Light, and I'll show you how to do it with the built-in. Let's go ahead and select our green there, and basically it does a pretty good job there. And so let's go ahead and turn on the alpha here, and you can see there's a little bit of specks in the black, so we're going to go ahead and go into the settings here, and we're going to clip the black levels a little bit, so that way we can get it fully black. Clip the whites here, and we're going to make a fully white silhouette of me, and that looks pretty good to me. If you go back, you can see a little bit of noise here, and that's not going to be that much of a problem. In fact, it might actually enhance what I'm going for, because they're shooting on not the best camera, so it might add into the effect there. And as you can see, it's kind of basically the same thing as using Primac here. The Primac here is just better for if you do a lot of more green screen work, and it gets a better key. Let's go ahead and add another adjustment layer here, and then we're going to add in a camera shake. I use a Red Giant Universe camera shake. It's just easy to use. If you have Red Giant Universe, it's definitely worth it. It gives you a lot of different effects. But let's go ahead and choose a preset here, and it's going to load up with the camera shake. I'm going to go with running looks probably best to me. Let's go ahead and apply that and close this out. And as you can see, it does a camera shake basically. But there's one problem with it. You can see up here, you can see that it's kind of mirroring itself. So we need to scale this up. So let's go ahead and go with like 110, and that basically gets rid of it. You can see a little bit of a line there where it mirrors, but it's not too bad there. And there's other options in here that you can adjust, but it's nothing that we really need right now. And that's how you do this with a green screen and a plate. And I'm not sure which way we're going to go with this short film. I'm going to show you guys another way of doing this here, and it just takes a little bit more work. It definitely takes a little bit more work, and it's not the best way of doing it, I feel like, but let's go ahead and take a look into that. So let's go ahead and select our other image here, basically where I'm standing in. And let's go ahead and set our in and out points here. So we're going to set an in here, and we just need a few seconds of it because there's a lot of like rotoscoping going on. So let's just set an out here. In fact, maybe we'll just cut it a little bit shorter just for this video's sake. So let's go ahead and create a new composition with this, and it's basically that long. Now what we need to do is just cut me out. So let's go ahead and go into, let's double click on the footage and then go into the Roto Brush here. We're going to start from the beginning. You just draw basically on your subject there, and then you press Alt and you take away what you don't want. And the pink line here, it just tells you where the rotoscope's happening or where your mask is. And you can be as detailed about this as you want. For this video, I'm gonna just go ahead and just kind of do a rough one here. In between the arms, I'm gonna just leave because for the video's sake, I don't want to get into it that much. You do have your brushes over here. If you don't have them up, you can go to Window and Brushes, but I don't need to really adjust anything. So basically what you need to do is just go through your timeline, and anytime you don't see the pink line around your subject, you need to start doing the Roto Brush again and just drawing in the green lines. And like I said, you can be as detailed as you want with this, or you cannot. Roto Brush isn't the best technique. You can also use the pen tool as well, but that does take longer. But I'm going to go ahead and go through this and just roto myself out here. Alright, so now it looks like I have myself fully rotoed out. So we're going to go back to my composition instead of just the footage that we're looking at. And you can see that it cut me out. There's black behind me. It's not the best roto job, but like I said, for this video, it doesn't need to be. And plus, I'm just trying to do this quickly. Here's all your roto settings. So what we need to do is duplicate our layer here, and let's go ahead and on the bottom one, we're going to delete the roto information there. And so that's going to give us our plate. So it basically looks the same as we got it. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and go back into our effects. We're going to do the same as what we did with the keyed option. We're going to go into Colorama and add that to our plate. And we're going to go ahead and choose that solarized blue out of the presets. And like I said, that's just so like it shows that there's no heat basically. And you can adjust the settings. And then on our subject here that we've rotoed out, let's go ahead and apply the same thing. Let's go ahead and go into the other one, and I'm going to just choose the Colorama from there and just copy and paste it over. That way we're not choosing all those colors again. So let's just delete this and paste it in there. We should probably adjust some of this. let's go ahead and apply that fast box blur, and let's go ahead and do the radius of 6 again, and we're going to copy that over to our plate that we created as well, or basically the background layer. And let's go ahead and turn on repeat edge pixels because I forgot to do that. It's all the same techniques we did on the other one, so this one seems to render a little bit slower here. Let's go ahead and fix this color a little bit because it seems to be a little too pink for me. So we're gonna just move some of these around here until I get something that I like. That's looking a little bit better there. So we'll just go with that for now. You can see that the rotoscoping is not the best, but it works for what I'm actually going for. I might still do the green screen, I'm just not sure. But let's go ahead and get the Mosaic Effect over here and the camera shake. And I'm going to just copy and paste that from the other composition here. And let's just make sure that it all copied over. It looks a little weird. It looks like maybe the camera shakes on the bottom, so we want that on the top, and then the mosaic on the bottom there. But that's basically it. It looks kind of the same. I do think that the green screen looks a little bit better, but I mean the rotoscoping doesn't look that bad either. It's just two different ways of doing it, and I think it works out pretty well. So there's one other effect that I might add into this, like I had in my preview video here, is basically adding some kind of like wigglies, like heat wave effect. And with Red Giant Universe, you do have a heat wave effect, so let's go ahead and apply that. And we're going to go into the presets here, and we're going to take a look at these. What we want to do here is select probably this one. I like this one the best, Billowed. Let's close that out. And as you can see, it kind of makes me shake around, and we're going to go ahead and adjust some of these settings because it does shake around quite a bit, so we're going to adjust some of these so it doesn't shake as much. And that's a little too low, so let's pump this up just a little bit more, and that gives us kind of a jello-y effect, it looks like. And maybe that's what we're going for with the short film. I'm still not going to tell you guys exactly what it is, but it looks pretty good to me, and you might be getting an idea of what we're going for here. And it's not going to be somebody just waving, it's going to be something else. But hope that this works out for you guys if you ever need this effect. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it and got something out of it. I'm gonna try to start making some more videos here and try to get this channel going again, and maybe you guys can learn some stuff. But thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one.